1. We're taking a closer look at a classic American muscle car that's up for grabs on Craigslist, a 1982 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. This beauty is priced at $8,500, and from what the seller tells us, it seems to be in pretty good shape overall. Let's start with the basics. This Camaro is rocking a powerful 5.0L V8 engine with dual fuel injection paired with an automatic transmission. It's a rear-wheel drive coupe that's sure to turn heads wherever it goes. The odometer shows just 50,383 original miles, which is relatively low for a car of this age. Now, the seller is upfront about the condition of the car. While most of the paint appears to be original, there are a couple of body parts that have been repainted. The interior is said to be in great shape, with the exception of the dashboard, which has some cracks. But as the seller points out, that's a common issue with Camaros of this era. It's worth noting that the door panels and rear seats are currently missing, but the seller mentions having a parts car with those components available. However, they're not the same color as the rest of the interior, so the seller chose not to install them. Mechanically, the seller assures us that the car runs well with no issues. The cooling system seems to be in good order, as the seller mentions that it doesn't overheat. As a bonus, the air conditioning blows cold, which is always a nice feature to have in a classic car. Overall, this 1982 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 appears to be a solid choice for anyone in the market for a vintage muscle car. While it may have a few minor cosmetic flaws, the low mileage and reported mechanical soundness make it an attractive option. If you're interested, be sure to reach out to the seller and schedule a time to check it out in person. Who knows? You might just drive home in this classic piece of American automotive history. 2. We've got a real treat for you. A gorgeous 1951 Plymouth Concorde that's up for sale on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at $12,500, and from the seller's description, it sounds like an absolute gem. First off, let's talk about the condition of this classic ride. The seller describes it as a true time capsule and an absolute survivor, which is music to any vintage car lover's ears. The original paint, fender skirts, and visor are all intact, giving this Plymouth an authentic, untouched look that's hard to come by these days. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-cylinder engine that's paired with a manual transmission. The seller mentions that the car runs and drives great, so you can hop in and enjoy the nostalgia of cruising down the road in a piece of automotive history. Just keep in mind that it's a 6-volt system, which is common for cars of this era. Now, let's take a peek inside. The seller says the dash is immaculate, beautiful, and in working order. A trifecta that's sure to impress. The seats have been reupholstered with Zarapi material, adding a touch of character and comfort to the interior. One thing to note is that the odometer has rolled over, which is not uncommon for a car that's over 70 years old. While we don't know the exact mileage, the overall condition of the car suggests that it has been well maintained throughout its life. The car is located in Snelling, California, 95368, and is available for viewing by appointment. The seller even offers to help with transportation, which is a nice bonus if you're not local to the area. All in all, this 1951 Plymouth Concorde seems like an excellent opportunity for any classic car collector or enthusiast. It's a chance to own a piece of automotive history that's in remarkable condition. If you're interested, be sure to reach out to the seller and schedule a time to see this beauty in person. Who knows? You might just fall in love and drive home in this timeless classic. 3. We've got a heartwarming story about a 1967 Ford Falcon that's up for sale on Craigslist. The owner, Ryan Montgomery, is letting go of his beloved life project to start a new chapter with his fiancée, Alice. This Falcon is priced at $6,500, and it comes with a tale of dedication, hard work, and love. Ryan bought this car 13 years ago from a junkyard, and it was in rough shape. But he saw its potential and poured his heart and soul into bringing it back to life. He worked extra shifts at his parents' pizza shop to earn the money needed for the restoration. Now that's what we call commitment. Under the hood, you'll find a new V8 302 Ford motor that Ryan installed himself. He also upgraded the front brakes from drums to discs, ensuring better stopping power. The car sits on fresh tires and wheels, and Ryan made sure all the electrical components are in top-notch condition. It's clear that he's put a lot of time and effort into making this Falcon roadworthy. Now, Ryan admits that the car still needs some love, but it runs and drives well. this is an excellent opportunity for someone who appreciates classic cars and wants to continue the story that Ryan started. It's a chance to own a piece of automotive history that has been cherished and cared for by someone who truly loves it. The reason for selling is just as touching as the car itself. Ryan has found the love of his life, Alice, and he wants to spend the rest of his days with her. However, he needs funds for their wedding, and that means making the difficult decision to part with his beloved Falcon. It's clear that this car has been a significant part of Ryan's life, and he hopes that it will become a part of someone else's story too. In conclusion, this 1967 Ford Falcon is more than just a classic car. It's a testament to one man's dedication, passion, and love. If you're in the market for a vintage ride with a unique history, this Falcon might just be the one for you. It's an opportunity to own a car that has been cherished and to continue the story that Ryan started. So if you're ready to write the next chapter, reach out to Ryan and make this Falcon a part of your life's adventure. 4. We've got a real treat for you. A 1983 Oldsmobile Toronado that's up for grabs on Craigslist. Now, I know what you might be thinking, a Toronado? Isn't that just a fancy Oldsmobile? But let me tell you, this car is so much more than that. First off, can we talk about the price? $11,500 might seem like a lot for a car that's almost 40 years old, but hear me out. This Toronado has been lovingly cared for by its one and only owner, and it shows. The seller even says it's in good condition, and with only 100,000 original miles on the odometer, this car has plenty of life left in it. But let's get to the really good stuff, the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful V8 engine that's just waiting to be unleashed, and with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without having to worry about shifting gears. The burgundy exterior is a classic color that's sure to turn heads, and the matching interior is just the cherry on top. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical about buying a car sight unseen, but the seller seems like a stand-up guy. He's only accepting phone calls, no text messages, which tells me he's serious about finding the right buyer for his beloved Toronado. And with a clean title and no accidents, you can rest easy knowing you're getting a quality car. Of course, no car is perfect, and the seller does admit that there's no rust on this Toronado, but hey, that's just a small price to pay for a piece of automotive history, right? So if you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to impress, look no further than this 1983 Oldsmobile Toronado. With its powerful engine, stunning good looks, and one-owner history, this car is a true gem. Just don't wait too long to make an offer. A car like this won't stay on the market for long. 5. We're diving into the world of classic American muscle with this 1972 Buick Skylark that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this baby is hot. First things first, let's talk about the price. At just $7,500, this Skylark is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of automotive history for a fraction of what you'd pay for a modern sports car. And the best part? The seller is open to offers, so if you're feeling lucky, you might just score an even better deal. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. This Skylark is powered by a 350 V8 engine, which means it's got plenty of grunt to get you moving. And with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without worrying about shifting gears. The seller even mentions that it runs and drives great, so you know it's been well taken care of. But what really sets this Skylark apart is the paint job. It's been done up in a stunning Dodge Viper blue, which is sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with only a small spot of rust on the lower passenger fender, this car is in great shape for its age. Inside, you'll find a modern Bluetooth stereo system, so you can cruise down the highway with your favorite tunes blasting. And with tons of new parts throughout, you can rest easy knowing that this Skylark has been properly maintained. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, it's got over 50,000 miles on the odometer. And to that, I say, so what? This car is nearly 50 years old, and 50,000 miles is nothing for a classic like this. In fact, it just goes to show how well it's been cared for over the years. So, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's sure to impress, look no further than this 1972 Buick Skylark. With its powerful V8 engine, stunning paint job, and modern amenities, this car is the total package. And at just $7,500, or best offer, it's a deal that's too good to pass up. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and make this Skylark yours today. 6. Get ready to feast your eyes on this absolutely stunning 1979 Cadillac Eldorado that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic luxury coupe is a true gem and a must-have for anyone who appreciates the finer things in life. First off, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller mentions that it's in near excellent condition, and I have to agree. Sure, there may be a few cosmetic blemishes here and there, but come on, this car is 45 years old. It's like a fine wine. It only gets better with age. And let's be real, a few imperfections just add to its charm and character. Now let's dive into the specs. This Eldorado is powered by a fuel-injected 170 horsepower, 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's shared with the Oldsmobile Rocket. That's right, this baby's got some serious muscle under the hood, and with a smooth shifting turbo-hydromatic 3-speed automatic transmission and front-wheel drive platform, you'll be cruising in style and comfort. The exterior of this Eldorado is painted in a sleek silver with a black vinyl top, giving it a classic and sophisticated look. And the interior? Oh boy, it's a thing of beauty. You've got plush leather seats and a classic dashboard design that'll make you feel like you're sitting in the lap of luxury. And with power windows, power seats, and more, you'll have all the modern conveniences you need. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the mechanical issues? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that there are a few things that need attention, like the heater and AC, alignment, and a driver's side head gasket that needs replacement. But hey, that's just part of owning a classic car. It's a labor of love, and with a little TLC, this Eldorado will be purring like a kitten in no time. And can we talk about the price for a second? At just $10,000 or best offer, this Eldorado is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of automotive history, a luxurious ride, and a car that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Plus, with recent upgrades like a new alternator, smog pump, and exhaust system, you know this car has been well maintained. So if you're looking for a classic car that combines vintage charm with modern drivability, look no further than this 1979 Cadillac Eldorado. With its iconic design, smooth ride, and luxurious features, this car is the total package. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Make an offer and make this beauty yours today. 7. Get ready to drool over this absolutely stunning 1962 Buick Skylark convertible that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is a true gem and a must-have for anyone who appreciates the golden era of American automotive design. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this Skylark. The seller describes it as being in excellent shape, and I have to agree. This car has spent its entire life basking in the sun of the desert Southwest, which means it's completely rust-free. That's right, you won't find any nasty surprises hiding underneath this baby's sleek blue exterior. Now let's get to the good stuff, the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a 215 all-aluminum V8 motor that's just begging to be unleashed. And with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without having to worry about shifting gears. The interior is also in fantastic condition, with clean upholstery that looks like it's been well maintained over the years. But what really sets this Skylark apart is the fact that it's a convertible. There's nothing quite like cruising down the highway with the top down, feeling the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. And with a working top, you can enjoy that feeling whenever you want. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, what about the missing door windows? And yes, it's true that the previous owner removed them for some unknown reason, and they haven't been located. But hey, that's just a minor detail in the grand scheme of things. The regulators are in the trunk, so it's just a matter of finding some replacement windows and getting them installed. And let's be real, with a car this cool, who needs windows anyway? But the best part about this Skylark? The price. At just $12,500, this car is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of American automotive history, a rust-free convertible, and a car that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Plus, the seller is open to trades for another classic car, truck, or even a motorcycle trike, as long as it's a true trike and not just a bike with Voyager wheels. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to impress, look no further than this 1962 Buick Skylark convertible. With its sleek blue exterior, powerful V8 engine, and top-down driving experience, this car is the total package. And with a price that's this good, you'd be crazy to pass it up. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and make this Skylark yours today. 8. Get ready to feast your eyes on this 1975 Cadillac Eldorado convertible that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This baby is a true diamond in the rough. And with a little TLC, it could be the crown jewel of your collection. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this Eldorado. The seller describes it as being in fair condition, and I have to agree. This car has been sitting in a garage for over 15 years. So it's definitely going to need some work to get it back to its former glory. But, hey, that's part of the fun of owning a classic car, right? Now let's get to the good stuff. The specs. Under the hood, you'll find a big V8 engine that's just waiting to be unleashed. And with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without having to worry about shifting gears. The exterior is painted in a bright red that's sure to turn heads wherever you go, and the power convertible top is in working order, so you can enjoy that classic top-down driving experience. But here's where things get a little tricky. The odometer on this Eldorado shows just 35,845 miles, but the seller notes that it has rolled over. The title also shows the same mileage, but because of the car's age, they're selling it as miles exempt. So while it's hard to say exactly how many miles this baby has on it, one thing's for sure, it's got plenty of life left in it. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the AC and the other issues? And yes, it's true that the AC doesn't work and the car needs some other repairs. But that's all part of the project car experience. With a little elbow grease and some spare parts, you could have this Eldorado running like a top in no time. And can we talk about the price for a second? At just $6,900, this Eldorado is an absolute steal. You're getting a classic Cadillac convertible with a clean title and a big V8 engine, all for less than the price of a used Honda Civic. Plus, the seller is open to trades for a newer car of equal value, so if you've got something to offer, it's worth a shot. But the best part about this Eldorado? It's being sold by Dunton Motors, Mojave County's oldest car dealership. This family-owned and operated business has been around since 1946, so you know they know their stuff when it comes to classic cars. And with financing available for well-qualified buyers, owning this Eldorado could be more affordable than you think. So if you're looking for a classic car project that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing, look no further than this 1975 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. With its bright red exterior, big V8 engine, and top-down driving experience, this car is the total package. And with a price that's this good, you'd be crazy to pass it up. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and make this diamond in the rough yours today. 9. We've got a real treat for you, a 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix that's up for grabs on Craigslist. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A Grand Prix? Isn't that just a fancy Pontiac? But let me tell you, this car is so much more than that. First off, let's talk about the price. At just $6,500, this Grand Prix is a steal. Sure, it's not in perfect condition, but that's part of the charm of owning a classic car. The seller even admits that there's some rust in the trunk, but hey, that's just a small price to pay for a piece of automotive history. But let's get to the really good stuff. The specs. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 403 motor that's just waiting to be unleashed. And with a newly installed 350 transmission, you can be sure that this baby is ready to hit the road. The seller even mentions that the brakes are good, so you can drive with confidence. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical about the mileage. 87,575 miles might seem like a lot, but let's be real. This car is over 40 years old. That's just a testament to how well it's been cared for over the years. And with a clean title, you can rest easy knowing that this Grand Prix has a solid history. But let's talk about the real showstopper, the paint job. This Grand Prix is rocking a bold yellow color that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. It's the kind of color that says, I'm not afraid to stand out from the crowd. And with a classic sedan body style, this car has a timeless look that will never go out of style. Now, I know buying a classic car can be a bit intimidating, especially if you're not a seasoned pro. But the seller seems like a stand-up guy. He's only accepting serious inquiries and encourages potential buyers to come by and see the car in person. That's the kind of transparency you want when you're making a big purchase like this. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got a ton of personality and a price that can't be beat, look no further than this 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix. With its powerful engine, bold color, and timeless style, this car is sure to be the talk of the town. Just don't wait too long to make an offer. A car like this won't stay on the market for long. 10. Get ready to have your mind blown by this incredible 1973 Plymouth Duster that's currently for sale on Craigslist. This baby is a true gem and a must-have for anyone who appreciates classic American muscle cars. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this Duster. The seller describes it as being in excellent shape, and I have to agree. This car is all original, which means it's a true time capsule from the 1970s, and with no rust and everything working perfectly, it's clear that this Duster has been well cared for over the years. Now let's dive into the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a slant-six engine that's ready to roar to life at a moment's notice. And with a smooth shifting automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, you'll be able to tackle any road with ease. Plus, with only 57,000 miles on the odometer, this Duster has plenty of life left in it. But what really sets this Duster apart is its stunning white paint job. There's just something about a classic car in white that screams elegance and sophistication. And with a clean title and up-to-date tags, you can hit the road in this beauty without any worries. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the price? Well, let me tell you. At just $8,500, this Duster is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of automotive history that's in excellent condition, all for less than the price of a new Honda Civic. It's a no-brainer, folks. But don't just take my word for it. The seller encourages interested buyers to contact them for more information. And with a car this cool, you know there will be plenty of interest. So if you're serious about owning a piece of American muscle car history, you better act fast. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing, look no further than this 1973 Plymouth Duster. With its powerful slant-six engine, stunning white paint job, and excellent condition, this car is the total package. And at just $8,500, it's a deal that's too good to pass up. So what are you waiting for? Contact the seller today and make this Duster yours. 11. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1964 Plymouth Barracuda that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This baby is a true classic and a must-have for anyone who appreciates the golden era of American muscle cars. First things first, let's talk about the history of this Barracuda. It's the first year that Plymouth produced this iconic model, making it a real piece of automotive history. And with only 60 years under its belt, this car is just getting started. Now, let's dive into the details. The seller has owned this Barracuda for a whopping 16 years, and it's clear that it's been a labor of love. The car was fixed up by the seller's old friend Doc, who sounds like he was quite the character, a veteran of the USMC, an Alaskan commercial fisherman, and an MD to boot. That's the kind of guy you want working on your classic car. But enough about Doc, let's talk about the car itself. This Barracuda is in good condition, with power steering and an automatic transmission to make driving a breeze. The seller has always stored it out of the rain, so you don't have to worry about any serious rust issues. And with a solid floor and only small holes in the trunk under the spare tire, this car is as solid as they come. Under the hood, you'll find not one but two complete 273 engines. The original 1964 engine ran smoothly before it was pulled, but it was getting a bit tired. So the seller replaced it with a 1966 engine that was in better shape. Unfortunately, a popped freeze plug and possibly a cracked block, which the seller takes full responsibility for, means that the second engine will need some work. But fear not. The seller has found a great option for a replacement engine that can be shipped from Spokane for under $3K without a core. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the paint and interior? Well, the paint does have some bubbles, but that just adds to the character of this classic car. And the interior? It's nice. The seller has even installed a beautiful grille that they scored from eBay years ago, and they have a nice spare bubble-back window that goes with the car. Plus, new taillight lenses and some Missy engine parts and manifolds are included. And can we talk about the exhaust for a second? This Barracuda has a single exhaust with a nice Flowmaster muffler that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with nice original hubcaps, this car looks as good as it sounds. Now, I know $8,000 might seem like a lot for a car that needs some work, but let's be real. This is a piece of automotive history we're talking about here. The seller is firm on their price, and for good reason. This car is a true gem and a project that any serious car enthusiast would be lucky to take on. So if you're ready to give this 1964 Plymouth Barracuda the love and attention it deserves, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. Just be sure to leave a phone number so they can get back to you. And if you need a little more convincing, just check out the video in the ad. Trust me, it's worth a watch. In the end, this Barracuda is a chance to own a piece of American muscle car history. And with a little elbow grease and some TLC, it could be the crown jewel of your collection. So what are you waiting for? Make this classic yours today. 12. Get ready to be blown away by this incredible 1974 Ford Torino that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This baby is a true classic and a must-have for anyone who appreciates the golden era of American muscle cars. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this Torino. The seller describes it as being in good shape, and I have to agree. With a powerful 302 V8 engine under the hood, this car is ready to roar down the road at a moment's notice. And with leather and electric seats, you'll be cruising in style and comfort. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the odometer? Well, the seller does mention that the odometer is broken, but that just adds to the mystique of this classic car. Who needs to know how many miles are on it when it runs this great? And speaking of running great, that's exactly what this Torino does. The seller doesn't go into too much detail, but they do say that it runs great. And really, what more do you need to know? With a car like this, you don't need a bunch of fancy bells and whistles. You just need a powerful engine, a smooth ride, and a whole lot of style. But let's talk about the real selling point of this Torino. The price. At just $14,000, this car is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of automotive history that's in good condition, with a powerful engine and comfortable seats, all for less than the price of a new Honda Civic. It's a no-brainer, folks. Now, I know some of you might be hesitant to buy a car sight unseen, but let me tell you, if you're a true car enthusiast, you know that sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. And with a car like this, it's a leap worth taking. Just imagine cruising down the road in this beautiful green Torino, turning heads and leaving everyone in your dust. So if you're ready to make this classic car yours, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. With a car like this, it's sure to go fast. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to own a piece of American muscle car history. In the end, this 1974 Ford Torino is a true gem. It's got power, style, and a whole lot of character. And at just $14,000, it's a deal that's too good to pass up. So what are you waiting for? Make this classic yours today and start living your best car enthusiast life. 13, all right. Let's dive a little deeper into this 1970 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. As a car enthusiast, I know how exciting it can be to come across a classic ride like this one. The Monte Carlo has a rich history, and the 1970 model year is particularly sought after by collectors and fans of vintage muscle cars. Under the hood, this Monte Carlo is packing some serious heat. The 454 big block engine is a legendary power plant, known for its raw power and impressive torque. With a fresh engine installation, this car should have plenty of get up and go. The 350 street and strip transmission is also a great choice, offering smooth shifts and reliable performance whether you're cruising down the highway or tearing up the drag strip. Now, let's talk about the condition of this car. The seller mentions that it's a running project, which means that while it may not be in perfect condition, it's at least drivable. This is a good sign, as it means you won't have to start from scratch with a complete basket case. However, it's important to keep in mind that project cars can come with their fair share of surprises, so it's always a good idea to have a thorough inspection done before making a purchase. The seller also notes that there are many new things that have been done to the car, which is encouraging. It's possible that they've addressed some of the common issues that can arise with classic cars, such as outdated wiring or worn-out suspension components. However, without a more detailed list of the work that's been done, it's hard to say for sure. Cosmetically, the red paint job is a classic choice for a Monte Carlo. These cars look great in bold colors, and red is definitely a head-turner. The ad doesn't mention anything about the condition of the paint or body, so that's something you'll want to take a close look at if you go to see the car in person. Inside, the Monte Carlo is a spacious and comfortable ride. The ad doesn't go into detail about the interior, but these cars are known for their plush seats and ample legroom. If the interior is in good shape, This could be a great car for long road trips or weekend cruises. One thing to keep in mind with any classic car purchase is the availability of parts. While the Monte Carlo was a popular model, finding replacement parts can sometimes be a challenge. However, with a strong community of enthusiasts and a thriving aftermarket, you should be able to find what you need to keep this car on the road. Overall, this 1970 Chevrolet Monte Carlo seems like a promising project car for the right buyer. With a fresh engine and transmission, and the potential for even more upgrades, it could be a real gem. Just be sure to do your homework and have a thorough inspection done before making any final decisions. And if you do end up taking this beauty home, be prepared to turn some heads out on the road. 14. We've got a real treat for you. A 1966 Mercury Park Lane Breezeway that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist for just $10,000. This classic beauty is a true gem, and according to the seller's description, it's in excellent condition. Can you believe it? First off, let's talk about that iconic breezeway design. The rear window on this baby actually retracts, giving you that open-air feel without all the wind noise. And get this, the electric rear window still works like a charm. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 410 engine with a 4-speed transmission that the seller says runs incredibly strong. And with routine servicing and records to back it up, you can feel confident that this car has been well taken care of. The seller even mentions that they've added an aftermarket choke to help with cold starts, a thoughtful touch that shows they really care about this car. As for the aesthetics, this Park Lane is rocking a sleek black paint job that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with just 250,000 miles on the odometer, which has rolled over by the way, this car still has plenty of life left in it. Oh, and did I mention it's been garage kept? That's right. This baby has been protected from the elements, ensuring that it stays in top-notch shape. All in all, if you're looking for a classic car with a unique design, strong performance, and a clean title, this 1966 Mercury Park Lane Breezeway is definitely worth checking out. At just $10,000, it's a steal of a deal that you won't want to miss out on. Trust me, this is the kind of car that will make you the envy of every car enthusiast in town. 15. We're taking a look at a 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville d'Elegance that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist for $12,700, and let me tell you, this beauty is a rare find. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the stunning Fire Mist Coralline blue exterior? It's paired perfectly with a Super Crush velour and shimmer blue shag interior that screams vintage luxury. This Coupe de Ville is the epitome of a well-maintained and preserved executive ride. Now, let's talk about the mileage. This baby has only 82,500 original miles on it. That's practically nothing for a car that's over 40 years old. And get this, the seller mentions that it's been stored during the winters, so there's not a spot of rust on it. That's a huge plus in my book. The seller also notes that this is their third 1979 Coupe de Ville, so you know they have a passion for these cars. They've only had this one for 2 years, but it's clear they've taken excellent care of it. In terms of recent upgrades, the seller has gone above and beyond. They've replaced the plugs, wires, air cleaner, and even did a fresh oil change with a Wix filter. The transmission fluid and coolant have been flushed, and the heater core has been replaced. They've also installed a new exhaust system and tail fins, which look absolutely stunning in the pictures. Now, the seller does mention a few things that need attention, like the headliner, some plastic parts, and a few minor fabric stains. But honestly, those are all relatively easy fixes for a car of this caliber. Overall, if you're in the market for a rare and luxurious classic car, this 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville d'Elegance is definitely worth checking out. The seller has clearly put a lot of love and care into this vehicle, and it shows. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 16. We're taking a closer look at a stunning 1958 Chevy Bel Air that's currently for sale on Craigslist for just $10,000. This beauty has a rich history and is ready to hit the road with its new owner. First off, let's talk about the provenance of this Bel Air. The seller mentions that it was sold new in Ellsworth, Wisconsin, and they even have the history on the car. That's the kind of documentation that collectors drool over. Now let's get to the juicy stuff, the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a 235 cubic inch inline-six engine paired with a Powerglide automatic transmission. And get this, it only has 53,000 miles on the odometer. That's practically nothing for a car that's over 60 years old. But the real kicker? This Bel Air runs, shifts, stops, and drives great. The seller even says they wouldn't be afraid to drive it anywhere. That's a testament to the care and attention this car has received over the years. The seller has also made some recent upgrades to ensure this Bel Air is in top-notch shape. They've rebuilt the carburetor, installed new points and plugs, and even checked the compression, which is sitting pretty at 145. 155 on all 6 cylinders. The brakes have been given some love too, with a new master cylinder installed. And let's not forget about the new driveshaft carrier bearing, which ensures a smooth and comfortable ride. Moving on to the interior, the seller has given it a refresh with new carpet. And the original colors of cashmere blue with fathom blue and blue interior? Absolutely stunning! This Bel Air is a true time capsule that will turn heads wherever it goes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $10,000 seems like a lot for an old car, but trust me, this 1958 Chevy Bel Air is worth every penny. The low mileage, excellent condition, and recent upgrades make it a rare find in today's market. If you're looking for a classic car that's ready to hit the road and turn heads, this Bel Air is the one for you. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 17. All right, folks, get ready to feast your eyes on a true classic. A 1950 Chevrolet Fleetline Deluxe Sedan Fastback that's up for grabs on Craigslist for $10,000. This baby is a numbers-matching original, and let me tell you, it's got character for days. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This Fleetline has seen some better days. The seller is upfront about the rust, patina, bubbles in the glass, worn interior, and even a small oil leak. But you know what? That's all part of the charm. This car isn't trying to be a pristine show queen. It's a street cruiser that's meant to be enjoyed and admired for its imperfections. And boy, has this Fleetline been enjoyed. The seller mentions using it for all sorts of events, car shows, funerals, weddings, parades, you name it. And apparently it gets more attention than their 62 Impala SS. That's saying something, folks. Under the hood, you'll find the original 216 inline-6 engine paired with a 3-on-the-tree manual transmission. The car has been lowered by heating the springs, a classic hot rodding trick. And it's got cherry bomb glass packs for a little extra rumble. Other than that, it's all stock and complete. Now, the seller is honest about the fact that this car would take some serious cash and time to fully restore. But if you're looking for a fun cruiser with a ton of character, this Fleetline is right up your alley. It runs, drives, and handles well, and the seller is even throwing in some extra goodies if you pay the full asking price. Patch panels, an original spare rim and tire, a complete 12-volt wiring kit, and even a complete air ride setup. The seller also notes that most of the exterior lights work, the gauges, except for the speedo, are functional, and all the windows, doors, hood, and trunk operate smoothly. The horn doesn't work, but hey, it's got a siren instead. How cool is that? Look, I get it. $10,000 is a chunk of change for a car that needs some work, but the seller is firm on their price, and I can't blame them. They've owned this Fleetline for 12 years and have made a lot of great memories with it. If it doesn't sell, they're happy to keep it and continue enjoying it. So if you're in the market for a classic cruiser with a ton of character and history, this 1950 Chevrolet Fleetline Deluxe Sedan Fastback is definitely worth checking out. It's not perfect, but that's what makes it so damn cool. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 18. We're taking a closer look at a 1976 Oldsmobile Toronado Brougham that's currently up for sale on Craigslist for just $5,500. This classic beauty is a real head-turner and is sure to make any vintage car lover weak in the knees. First off, let's talk about what's under the hood. This Toronado is packing a beefy 455 V8 engine that runs and drives like a dream. And get this, the air conditioning has been converted to R134, so you can cruise in cool comfort even on the hottest of days. The seller mentions that the body is in good shape, and the interior is looking pretty sharp too. And here's the kicker. This Toronado recently passed a Texas state inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Now, I do have to mention a couple of things that the seller pointed out. They took out the factory AM/FM 8-track stereo with the intention of getting it fixed, but ultimately decided to let the new owner make that call. And while the car could benefit from a fresh paint job and a new vinyl top, those are really just cosmetic issues that don't affect the overall awesomeness of this ride. The seller also notes that the dash is partially disassembled for access to the radio, And they removed some moldings around the vinyl top to spray some self-etching primer where the paint had mostly faded away. But honestly, those are just minor details that come with owning a classic car. At the end of the day, this 1976 Oldsmobile Toronado Brougham is a seriously cool car that any enthusiast would be lucky to own. The seller even admits that they'd love to keep it, but they have other projects and realize they can't do them all. That just goes to show how special this Toronado really is. So if you're in the market for a vintage ride with plenty of character and style, this Toronado is definitely worth checking out. At just $5,500, it's a steal of a deal that won't last long. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 19. We've got a real treat for you, a 1968 Ford Torino four-door sedan that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist for just $10,950. This classic beauty is a true time capsule, and it's in remarkably good condition for a car that's over half a century old. Under the hood, you'll find a 289 CID 8-cylinder engine that's ready to rumble. And get this, it's paired with a column-shift manual transmission, which is a rare find these days. That means you get to experience the thrill of rowing your own gears while cruising down the highway in this vintage gem. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A four-door sedan isn't exactly the most exciting body style out there, but hear me out. This Torino has a certain charm that's hard to resist. It's the kind of car that you can pile your friends and family into and hit the road for a weekend adventure. Plus, with an aftermarket hang-on air conditioner, you can stay cool and comfortable even on the hottest of days. But here's the real kicker. This Torino has almost no rust anywhere on the body. That's a huge deal for a car of this age, and it's a testament to how well it's been cared for over the years. The seller even mentions that it's in very good condition overall, which is impressive considering it's been around for 5 decades. And if you're worried about the mechanical condition, don't be. This Torino has a current Virginia inspection, which means it's ready to hit the road as soon as you get behind the wheel. Now, I know that $10,950 might seem like a lot of money for an old sedan. But when you consider the rarity, condition, and overall cool factor of this 1968 Ford Torino, it's actually a pretty solid deal. And the seller even mentions that they're open to close, reasonable offers, so there might be some wiggle room on the price. At the end of the day, if you're looking for a vintage car that's equal parts practical and cool, this Torino is definitely worth checking out. It's the kind of car that will turn heads wherever you go, and it's sure to be a hit at any classic car show or cruise-in. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 20. Get ready to feast your eyes on this stunning 1980 Pontiac Firebird 2 Dr. Coupe that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist for just $7,900. This classic beauty is sure to turn heads wherever it goes, and it's a must-see for any Firebird fan. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate that gorgeous orange paint job? It's the kind of color that just screams, "Look at me," and it's sure to make you the star of any car show or cruise-in. And with only 2,374 miles on the odometer, this Firebird is practically a time capsule. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-cylinder engine that's ready to rumble. And with a clean title and an automatic transmission, this Firebird is ready to hit the road as soon as you get behind the wheel. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $7,900 is a lot of money for a 40-year-old car, but hear me out. This Firebird is in good condition, and it's a rare find with such low mileage. Plus, the seller has provided plenty of details to give you peace of mind, including the VIN number and stock number. And let's talk about the fun factor. This Firebird is a rear-wheel drive coupe, which means it's built for cruising and enjoying the open road. Whether you're hitting the highway for a weekend getaway or just running errands around town, this Firebird is sure to put a smile on your face. But don't just take my word for it. The seller has provided plenty of details about this Firebird so you can make an informed decision. They've listed the year, make, model, trim, mileage, stock number, VIN, transmission, color, vehicle type, state, and drivetrain. Everything you need to know to fall in love with this classic beauty. So if you're in the market for a vintage Firebird that's ready to turn heads and make memories, this 1980 Pontiac Firebird 2 Dr. Coupe is definitely worth checking out. With its stunning orange paint job, low mileage, and clean title, it's a rare find that won't last long. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of American muscle car history.